the States are getting their full-backs forward, especially down this side. Ernie Stewart, who should get forward anyway, because he's not a left-back. He's just a withdrawn outside left, really.
Vidrio wins it for the Mexicans. Back to Bernal, who's 33 years of age. He's the oldest player out there in the lineup. Good-looking ball gets Espinosa in behind here. Few green shirts waiting in there. Espinosa almost getting a decent bounce of the ball in his favour. Garcia Aspe takes a deflection, and almost a very fortuitous deflection for the Mexicans. It nearly...
They've got to be very diligent, the States, with Espinosa and Garcia Aspe. They keep coming forward now, and they're making runs from deep positions. You know, unless they track them back all the time, they'll get in. And they're clever around that D. They can play a clever little 1-2 or a little angle ball.
Gutierrez chipping it up towards Espinosa, but it was an easy job for Alexi Lalas. Gutierrez. Don't know whether Lalas has been relaxing down at the clubs playing his guitar. I don't know whether they go for that kind of thing around Montevideo and Paysandú. I think they prefer the Latin American. Here's Gutierrez. Cut out by Reyna. Back for Bernal, who always seems to have plenty of time on the ball. Now here's Luis Garcia. Haven't seen a lot of him so far. Garcia Aspe! That was beautifully struck by the little number 8.
Yeah, and I think as the game goes on and one or two players start to feel the pace of things, no doubt about it, those 3 real midfield runners that Mexico have got, Garcia Aspe, Espinosa, they'll get chances. That was dipping wet.
That was close. It was even closer than it looked at the first time of asking. What was it, about a foot over the angle of post and bar, I reckon. If that. He is dangerous on that left foot. He's scored some important goals in the past, Garcia Aspe. Notably in the qualifiers for the World Cup. Kobe Jones, who came close with that header for the United States. You get the feeling that slowly but surely this game just starting to build up. Oh, Ronaldo was there, and Campos again, the great acrobat. That was some catch, wasn't it?
That's a brilliant save. He took that ball, it was right on Wijnaldum's head. I thought, there's a goal here, it's going to be, and Campos come from nowhere to catch that ball. There's Wijnaldum just waiting. It was just going to be a little tap into the net, really. He chested it down and ran it into the net. That's a great save, terrific agility.
He's had a good game here, Campos. In his gaudy outfit. Maybe not every coach's cup of tea as a goalkeeper, but he really has made 2 or 3 super stops here. Lalas getting a lot of spring for his header. Bernal. Nice turn. Good run too. Dooley's back there to win it in front of his defenders.
You see every time that the States get down the flanks, they look dangerous. They could prize a goal out of Mexico with one of those crosses.
Coyote. Gutierrez. Both sides, you get the feeling, just beginning to get a bit more ambitious, because they know, like the rest of us, that the penalty shootout looms ever nearer. And in that situation, the finger of suspicion can end up pointing at anyone. It was poor old Carlos Gamarra.
They call it the the fickle finger of fate here. That's what they call it. They say anything could happen.
Bernal. Nice stuff from Bernal. Ooh, he was lining up the shot there. Was Marcelino Bernal. Mexicans beginning to ask one or two questions. Rodriguez. Suarez has to go backwards. Campos is quite happy to have the ball. He'd be quite happy to get in the other half of the field if he could, I'm sure. He was once top goal scorer for his club back in 1989, would you believe, as a striker. 14 goals in the season.
Well, it's great if you've got a goalkeeper who is good with his feet. I mean, you can knock it back to him, and these days, where they have to use their feet, you're not afraid to do that. You know he's going to be able to handle the ball, and he can play it out. He's not just going to boot at the length of the pitch.
Booking for kicking the ball away. Beginning to mount up. That's the 6th of the night. And it's Lawless this time. 3 apiece. Free kick was aimed towards Luis Garcia by Garcia Raspe, but Kobe Jones trying to set off the counter, but not like that. Huge chance of Mexico ringing around the stadium as the green shirts look to press forward again. Espinosa trying to get Rodriguez in behind there. Reina was back there defending for the USA. I'm sure the Americans knew that they wouldn't be able to repeat their 4-0 hammering of Mexico in the US Cup last month. This is a rather more significant stage.
I would say this for the state, because they've had to shuffle the pack and play players in different positions. They're coping quite well. I mean, Reina and Stewart down this left back position are doing that very, very well. I mean, they're getting back and they're tackling and they're looking like a left back. And the same with Burns and Caligiuri. I mean, they're playing in these 3 centre-back positions and they're doing well. I mean, Lallis, I thought Lallis would play between them, but he's not. He's virtually playing in the right back spot. And Burns is the centre of the kind of 3 centre-back positions.
Exactly 1 hour gone here. Still USA 0, Mexico 0. Remember, no extra time. It will be a penalty shootout if the scores are level after 90 minutes. And after that, it will be one of the great games of world football in prospect. Brazil against Argentina, live from Rivera. John Harkes. Lallis has come forward again, scored against Argentina, remember. Won it in the air as well. Back in again by Burns, none too accurately, and an offside. Or I think it must have been a push, because there was there's another defender.
I think he's getting a bit frustrated, Lallis. I mean, they're checking him and blocking him in those dead ball situations, and He's saying to the referee, hey, watch what they're doing to me. Referees never want to know around the box in that situation.
Salvador. Kobe Jones. John Harkes. There are one or two chants from the Mexican fans of Hermosillo. He is the one of the big stars of Mexican football. He's on the bench, the striker, a survivor from the 1986 World Cup, and the fans obviously want to see him. They tell me he is paid among the tops of any player in Mexico, around £300,000 a year, Hermosillo. So I wonder if we will see him introduced here. Moore. We've seen an awful lot of him. Reina trying to find Winalda. Campos quickly off his line. You almost need to wear sunglasses, don't you, when Campos is playing?
Yeah, if you dress like that, you've got to play well. You can't afford to have a bad game.
Well, he is playing well, isn't he? Burns into the channel, hoping Winalda can make something of it. Very coolly done indeed by Vidrio. It's the coach, Steve Sampson, taking over from the sacked Bora Milutinovic, who took the United States to the World Cup. Babone, the Mexican coach, who's carried on with the job after USA 94. Espinosa has it back again. This is Vidrio, one of the new names. He wasn't at the World Cup. Vidrio again, who plays for Guadalajara. Lalas with a stern challenge and an important one. Moore here. And it's going to take a lot better than that to beat Campos in the mood he's in tonight.
He uses those long legs of his, Lalas, very well. Every now and again he gets to balls that really he shouldn't get to, and he wins them back.
Of course, he's one of those who's signed up for the new Major League Soccer. He will be leaving Padova, though he will play for them in the coming season in a loan basis. Mike Burns also in this team. He's going to be part of the Major League Soccer venture too. I'm sure others will follow. Maybe even some of these Mexican players. You never know. Garcia Aspe. Salvador. Oh, and Espinosa! It was a great chance, and he hit it straight at a very grateful Brad Friedel.
Yeah, but Friedel did well. Here again, he held his ground and made a good save with his hands.
It was a disappointing finish there, wasn't it?
Yes, I thought that was going to be the one that would prize the match.
Espinosa will be kicking himself here, I'm sure.
Well, he's always looked as though he's going to get in, Ian Espinosa. And he's made a good run there. And the keeper's made a good save. Nice little through ball there by Salvador. Now he's in. He wanted a little bit hard and low would have been the thing, Ian. I mean, I think that if he'd have just a little bit more pace, kept it on the deck, I think it'd have slid in.
Now then, Winalda. getting plenty of air onto that corner. There's nobody that deep at all, so it was a mysterious one, really.
I suppose someone was supposed to come in late on the back post, but they didn't arrive. And he's whacked it to the back post, Ronaldo, an outswinger, nobody around.
Here's Gutierrez. Raul Gutierrez can play over on the right-hand side as well, if the need arises. But the man occupying that berth tonight is Rodriguez, who plays a great ball to Espinosa here. Salvador waiting in the middle. The shot beaten down by Luis Garcia.
He keeps getting in, Espinosa. And obviously, he seems to have more freedom this second half to move around and be difficult to pick up and mark.
This is Bernal. A feeling growing that maybe one of these two sides could be on the verge of a breakthrough soon. Things are beginning to happen, chances starting to happen. Well, the referee wants to administer another yellow card here. Was that Dooley he was booking? It was not immediately apparent, I must say.
They do say that the sale of pencils in Uruguay has really gone up over these last couple of weeks. These referees have been... they're taking him off, Espinosa. Interesting.
And Salvador, by the look of it. Double substitution, and Hermosillo is coming on, along with Martinez, the number 19, Manuel Martinez of Guadalajara. But Hermosillo, the survivor of the '86 World Cup, and also the United States, introducing the number 14, Frank Klopas. Now, he's had a knock, which I suspect is why he wasn't in the starting lineup, because he did score against Argentina, but he's obviously not too bad that he can't do some service for, 22 minutes or so. Maybe they want him to take a penalty as well if it comes to it. Although it's a bit early for that, I suppose.
Well, it's about right. I mean, just over 20 minutes to go. I mean, it gives the players a fair chance to get into the game. And it's fresh legs. And you only need a defender who's perhaps just filling the pace a little bit. And those legs can perhaps get you a chance.
Of course, Hermosillo will also give some aerial strength to that Mexican attack. He's 6 feet 3 inches tall. Interesting to see whether he can make an impact. For the fans who are chanting his name have got their way. Garcia Aspe caught by Hartz, who is booked. Just confirmation that Frank Klopas, the Greek-based striker, is on for the Americans. Burns gets it away. Here's Harks again. Moves in towards Hermosillo, bouncing around a bit dangerously for a split second there. Last 20 minutes now, Don.
Yes. And they've just picked the pace up a little bit, the Mexicans. Those two substitutes have lifted the game a little bit.
It seems that booking a minute or two back was not Dooley, but Garcia Aspe. It was not clear who the referee was booking. Now here's Wijnaldum. What I can tell you is we now have 8 yellow cards tonight so far.
And what's the record in? How do we stand at the moment? Which is the top team?
Oh, goodness knows. We'll look it up later on. But we're well over the 100 bookings for the tournament. There were 11 bookings in the Argentina-USA game, so I think that's the worst so far. This could take over yet. looks like the Americans may be making another substitution here. Rayner is coming off. So some fresh legs about to be introduced by the Americans. And we shall see who in just a moment. It's Mike Sorba, the experienced central midfield player with over 50 caps to his name, who's on here. He's a bit of a workhorse there. He doesn't perhaps have Rayner's inspiration or passing ability, but he works his socks off, as the coaches like to say. This is Martinez, one of the Mexican subs. Gutierrez. Claudio Suarez knocking it forward. Here's Raul Gutierrez with his pigtail. Ooh, miscue by Dooley. Burns comes to help him out. Garcia Aspe looked very, very lively again. Sorba. Now here's Klopas. Winalda. Klopas continues with his run forward. Good looking move. Moore couldn't quite reach it. Bounce wasn't very kind to him. Good counter-attack with a lot of pace in it. Yeah, and that's what they're looking for. It's completely counter-attack. So that's where they're going deep. And know that Klopas has come back on. He's got a bit of pace. And obviously there's space for him to run into now. Luis Garcia. Good early ball in, which Caligiuri cut out. But the Mexicans will have a corner. Carlos Hermosillo in there waiting. He once scored 4 in one game when the Mexicans hammered St. Vincent 11-0. Goal against Northern Ireland as well last year. Bernal. Whistle's gone. Colombian referee here tonight, Oscar Ruiz.
I think he said that he'd gone out of play as he crossed the ball. It's bent, gone over the byline, and then come back in on the pitch.
Just over a quarter of an hour away from a second penalty shootout. Colombia beat Paraguay 5-4 on penalties last night with that controversial goalkeeper, René Higuita, saving the final penalty from poor old Carlos Gamara of Paraguay. Will we have a reenactment here tonight? Garcia Aspe getting away. Burns doing some good covering. And that's well worked between defender and goalkeeper. Not too happy there, Vidrio, that was given against him. He seemed to win the ball cleanly. Worked through by Klopas, and Moore's run checked. He made sure he saw nothing of the ball there. Klopas has now got another knock. Klopas, who scored in 5 consecutive games for the United States last year.
And they've took a little bit of a gamble there by putting him on. I mean, if he has got an injury, he could have kind of set him back there a little bit. I think it was just a collision. It could be just knee against knee, and they've shook their knee joint up, and they could get over it. Or it might be more pressure on an injured area that Klopas has got. Then he would be a passenger for the rest of the game.
Well, this is bad news for Mexico. The influential Bernal in obvious pain. Whether this is one of the one-minute jobs, I would doubt. He looks as if he's got a genuine knock there.
Yeah, he looks in trouble.
They seem to be making signs that another substitute should be brought on. They've already made a couple of substitutions, but of course 3 are allowed in this championship. Sorba gives the ball back to the Mexicans.
Klopas is okay. He's fine. He's got over his knock.
Plays for Apollon in Greece and spent 4 years with AEK Athens. One of those players who's come back from the dreaded cruciate ligament injury. Luis Garcia. Gutierrez playing it down the line for Martinez. Sorba back to Kobe Jones, who can't find an angle for the return pass. Well, it's, as you can imagine, real tension and anxiety about the place now. Hermosillo trying to play the 1-2 with Garcia Aspe.
You do feel as though they're hanging on in there now, the States. You know, it's all Mexico coming forward, knocking that ball out to the left flank as often as possible.
Garcia Aspe again, he's already come close. Martinez operating down that left-hand side.
Good defending by Kobe Jones, went with his run-up, tracked him all the way back, had to give a corner at the end of it, but that's good defending for an outside run.
We saw the Americans fade a little bit, didn't we, in that game against Chile, the first game they played. Ambris is on for Mexico, the man who was their captain at the World Cup. Got a great shot when he gets forward, the little crew-cut midfield workhorse. Hermosillo on the near post, hammered away by Lawless.
They've got to keep on their toes here. You know, there needs plenty of shouting in the box. It livens things up. Everybody talking, everybody chatting.
Another corner and away. Suarez was in there, the defender, and Hermosillo as well, I think, who got the final touch to it. It's Hermosillo's effort that was scrambled away by the Americans. This is Gutierrez. Cut out by Winalda. Just looking a bit disorganized at the moment, the USA. They're going through one of their flat passages. Garcia Aspe.
What's happened, Ian, is that the front players are not playing now. You know, they can't get out their own half, the States. The front players are not hanging on to the ball. They're not making runs. You know, when you get like this, the front player is absolutely vital. And all they have to do is get hold of the ball and keep it. So you can get out and support them, then you can start to play farther up the pitch. If they are not trying to get away from their markers and you can't play that ball up to them, then you're under pressure all the time. I mean, more times than not, you can hear the coaches back home in England, they're always saying, hang on to that ball, keep it, hold it, hold it. So they know they can get out their own box and they can push farther up the field.
Sorba wide for John Hart. Now Eric Winalda. Taken out. That's given the Americans a free kick. Now what havoc or chaos can they cause here? How can they threaten Jorge Campos's goal?